Making gold is probably the most common endgame activity in Guild Wars 2, as gold is needed for almost everything. In this video I will show you 7 hidden but very useful tips and tricks to get more gold quickly and efficiently. I'm Summer and let's dive right in. So I will tell you 7 tricks and 1 bonus tip at the end. Be sure to stick around for all of them to optimize your gold gain. Let's start with a really simple tip. You have to set yourself a goal. So if you want to make, let's say, a legendary, for example, Twilight, you have to focus on that goal. You can't just say, okay, I will do that, I will do that, I will do that, and then you don't get to enough money to all the materials, all the stuff you need. You always have to set yourself a goal, get to that goal, and then go for the next one. That's a very important thing. It's a really basic concept and probably a tip you don't want to hear, but it will help you if you stick to that. And I know what I'm talking about. I have made a lot of gold. You will see later in the video when I share my stats on this. So that's the first really basic tip. Let's go to the much better tips now. So time is key. So every time you start farming for gold, you will want to maximize the gold per hour or the gold that you get for the time you invest. So if you get something out of 2 hours, you have to make sure that is worth the amount you spent, the amount of time you spent in these 2 hours. It's really important because a lot of stuff is only 10 minutes or something and you get a lot of gold, but you can only do this once a week, once a day. And this still is a very time efficient thing to do. So you should do this all the time. This is much better than having a farm that is 24/7 doable, but it's only giving you 5 gold per hour. It's not as efficient. So think about this. That's really important. And that's why quick dailies, for example, are really, really important. That's also the next tip. I will, let's say, smoothly go over to this, because doing, for example, refinement of crafting materials, like the charged quartz crystal, where you just use 25 quartz and use it once a day on a hero point to get the charged quartz crystal, which you can't sell, but you can craft something from it, which you then can sell. And if you craft it, like for example, like this celestial whatever mace, you get a profit of almost 8 gold, which is really good, just for doing this one thing a day. Of course it has to sell, but there are hundreds of items you can craft from the quartz crystal, charged one, and they all sell at some point and you make that money. If you do that every day, you get so much money just from doing essentially 2 minutes or not even 1 minute maybe thing. That's really easy and you can stack those even. So it's not really important to craft it right at this point. So that's really important. And there are a lot of things like this where you can log in daily. So be sure to stick around on my channel. Be sure to subscribe, because I will do a guide about all the quick dailies and weeklies, which are really important to make money in Guild Wars 2. Be sure to subscribe for that. It will come out soon. And like I said, time is key. And there is a lot you can do daily, which is really important. For example, you can do all the strike missions, the Icebrood Saga strike missions, which are really time efficient if you're a PvE player, but also, of course, the Wizard Vault is really strong. In any case, if you just select World vs. World, PvP, whatever, they are all really fast. I would recommend the competitive modes if you enjoy those, because they are much faster most of the time. And you can get some money while you are doing the Wizard Vaults achievements, so really good. And there are a lot of other stuff, but I will get to that, like I said, in the special video. Now to the next point. You always can refine materials, not only daily, like for example this, let's say, Xunai Electrum Ingot. You can craft those lump of Metrilium daily, which is a profit by itself, to then sell the Xunai Electrum Ingot, for example. And it's always better to refine materials and then sell them as to directly sell them. Why is that? Because there is a time effort for you to craft them. There are some exceptions to this rule, but most of the time it's worth it to do. And so be aware that if you stack a lot of raw materials, try to craft them when you are, let's say, watching a video in the background or something, and then sell them. You make money from doing nothing, essentially. Be aware of that. That's really important. And then, if you want to go a step further, you can then even refine this to these ascended materials and then sell them. It's more profit if you saved up on the lump of material, for example. That's smart, so be aware of that. Now to the next point. Festivals are really good gold making, let's say, time. There are several over the year. Some are better than others, but most of the time, festivals bring new content and especially new items that only are, let's say, really commonly available during this time of the year. So if you farm, for example, the upcoming Halloween event and get a lot of candy corn, a lot of stuff that is only dropping there, and then sell it, not at the time of, let's say, Halloween, but save it for later, for example, you can make a lot of profit. So there's always this thinking of, okay, I get a lot of materials that are, let's say, seasonal, and then I save them until they are at the maximum price. Sometimes that is at the time of this festival, but most of the time it's later in this year. For example, Winter's Day gifts are really good in price after months, after Winter's Day has closed already. So be aware of that and save up if you don't really need the money at the time and sell them. So invest your time and wait until you get the maximum profit out of it. That's really smart. And that's also a really smart thing to do with all this stuff. For example, let me show it in game. For example, you have these materials, Jade Rune Stones, Antique Summoning Stones, chunk of Ancient Emergy. They all fluctuate over, let's say, their typical price. So this is, for example, always 2 gold. The same with this one. This one is, let's say, over the course of time going down. But every Monday, when there's a reset, people buy these and sell them instantly. So be aware that you can make a little bit more profit by just waiting a few days until everyone has bought them and sold them. And then you can make a little bit more profit because they will go up again. So there's some fluctuation or, let's say, oscillation going on. And be aware that you want to sell on the point that is the highest so you get the maximum profit. It's really important. And also, to get to my next point, always try to save up money. If you want to get rich, you should not spend your money. You should save it for your goal you have and then spend it. That's really important. And that's also making, let's say, use out of the really simple thinking that why do you want, for example, to sell stuff right now when you can sell it for a little bit higher tomorrow? Don't waste your money by doing this. Always sell for, say, to list and don't sell instantly. You will lose money doing it over time. And that's a lot of money that you will save up on if you just are patient. So patience is key. It's really important. And that's all for everything. It's not only for selling, but it's also for buying. Always try to order stuff and hope that you get it. If you see it's not possible, always try to, let's say, refresh your order. If you find out that you can't sell or buy it like that, of course, you can then go to instant trade. But I would say most of the time you get all the stuff you want in a reasonable time frame. So that's really important. So time is key here. Patience is key. So now to the next point. Material storage. You can see it here in the background. It's really important that the material storage is a huge gold sink. What do I mean by this? I mean, you just press the inventory button to deposit all materials and don't think about it again. That's okay, but be aware that you have a lot of money lying around probably in the material storage. You can sell so many of those things in there and you can make use out of tips I gave before. So don't sell instantly. And of course, try to refine your stuff you have in here and then sell it. You make more profit that way. And of course, if you can find a thing to craft out of the refined stuff and sell that, you make even more profit. So be aware. This is really important. So we have a huge amount of money laying around in your material storage. So let me show you in my case. I have almost 4k gold worth in the material storage if I wanted to sell it. Not the value is 10k. So I have a lot of stuff in there and I could sell it. And that's really important to keep in mind. If you feel like you need money, always sell it. Don't save up on materials. That's let's say a bad advice people give you. Save up on materials. That's not good. Get liquidated now. That's important because you don't know what the future brings. For example, a lot of people now save up the materials for legendary spear that is upcoming. That's a good thing to do, but only save up materials that you are 100% sure that will be in there. If you need money right now, you should sell all other stuff because you don't know what farms will come into the game with this. For example, maybe you think, okay, T6 blood is really quite valuable right now. So I will save on that because it will probably get even more valuable when it comes out. Maybe, but you don't know. Maybe there will be a farm that only drops vials of powerful blood and they will completely crash. You don't know. And that's why you should always sell it. I think that's the most important tip I can give you regarding the material storage. Try to empty it and sell it. It's not nice to save up for years on it because that money doesn't get better. That's my opinion. Of course, other people will give different advice, but I feel like that's really important, to me at least. I should do that as well. So get me, let's say, out of the way and say that. But at the moment I have enough gold. I don't really want to spend it. I don't have any goals regarding gold. So I don't care. But if you want to make money, always look into your material storage and sell stuff. Now to the next point. It is really important that you do stuff that is fun to you. And that's, I can't emphasize it enough. Do stuff that is fun to you. And don't waste your time in the most efficient farming method just to get 1 gold per hour more and then burn out after a few days of farming because you don't like it anymore or you can't stand it anymore. That's really important. So do stuff that is fun to you and makes money. Even if it's not the most efficient or the best farming that you can imagine. For example, PvP on World vs. World actually give quite a lot of gold even though it's a little bit hidden. So if you like those game modes, play them and don't say I have to do PvE farming to get gold. Of course, maybe it's more profitable to farm fractals. If you enjoy them, by no means, do this. It's completely fine. Do whatever you like, but be aware that farming is not fun by itself, you know? So if you feel like you don't get enough fun out of doing a specific farming method, change it. That's really important. That's a really good tip. Please take advantage of that. And now to my final tip, which is really important as well. Use 2 websites. It's incredibly strong to use those 2 websites. The first I already showed, it's Guild Wars 2 efficiency. Guild Wars 2 efficiency is really strong. So you can use a lot of stuff. I will probably also make a dedicated video out of it, how to use it. And the most important one, like I said, is, for example, you can look at your bank, what stuff is worth, material storage. But what I really like is the crafting calculator. So for example, if I wanted to craft Twilight, I can just put it in here and see, okay, it costs me 1.3k gold to craft it. And if I wanted to sell it, I would make some profit. If I now use my own materials, you can see I only need 300 gold approximately to make it. So, and it also explains everything that you use and what you need and then how to get it. Really, really strong to optimize the way how to get your stuff and don't waste any gold on stuff that you don't really need. And the second website that's also really strong is the Fast website from the Fast farming community. It's really good because it shows you a lot of farming stuff that is highly, let's say, detailed and researched, really, really good. You can get all of the typical farming stuff that you can get, even item conversions and even competitive modes are listed in here. So be sure to check this website out. And that's all I had for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more gold guides, more videos all about Guild Wars, be sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.